Hey, it's Alex Radcliffe from BoardGameCo, and today we get to talk about Massive Darkness 2. But first, I have both a thank you and a favor to ask. My thank you is pretty simple. We just recently hit 8,000 subscribers, and like I said already, we will be doing a Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion giveaway because we hit 8,000 subscribers. That video will be going up Friday, so subscribe to the channel so you can find out more if you want to win Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. And then my favor is along the same lines, which is pretty simple actually. My birthday is August 26th, which coincidentally is the same day that Massive Darkness 2 will be ending in 21 days. If we can get this channel, BoardGameCo, if we can get BoardGameCo to 10,000 subscribers before Massive Darkness ends, I will do a giveaway for a Massive Darkness bundle, specifically not the all-in, because I don't know what that looks like yet, but the Heavenfall Pledge. I will do a giveaway for the Heavenfall Pledge if BoardGameCo hits 10,000 subscribers before Massive Darkness 2 ends as a campaign. To be clear, the giveaway, in terms of international, I might do a restriction on how much I'm willing to cover shipping-wise, but just so you know, if we can hit 10,000 subs before that ends, then we will do a giveaway for Massive Darkness 2 Hellscape. My second favor, and this is a fun one, for those who watch the channel, you already know that I do a lot of stuff with Quackalope, and he and I have this little miniature bet going back and forth as far as trying to get more subscribers or growth or whatever. And he foolishly, very foolishly let me know that any subs I sent his way don't count in this contest. They're cheap. They don't count because he didn't earn them. So if you could do me a favor, and if you could also head over to his channel, I'll link down below, and also sub to his page, just so it completely throws off the numbers and he can't count anything. Just completely overflowing with subscribers. I'll link down below. And keep in mind, by the way, if you're watching this video, you probably want to be subbed to him anyway, because he is the only person who has Massive Darkness 2 gameplay footage. And in general, Quackalope has they have a relationship with CMON, and they seem to be the ones who are doing the only gameplay videos from CMON. So if you're watching this video, you probably want to sub to him anyway. So again, that's a giveaway if we hit 10K on BoardGameCo, plus let's just screw with Quackalope a bit and overflow his channel with subscribers. I would really appreciate it. It's just kind of fun, honestly. From there, let's go into Massive Darkness 2. Massive Darkness 2 is blowing it out of the water. I'm doing this video 4 hours after launch. And 4 hours after launch, they are at $945,000 already. Someone asked me before the campaign started, where do I see them getting day one? And I said, 700,000 seems like a good number. Less than that, I'd be disappointed. More than that seems a little ambitious for me to say that they're going to hit that. But they are definitely hitting that and then some. This thing is going to be crossing 1.2 million by the end of the day. Maybe 1.4 million even, I don't know. This thing is completely killing it. And that's partially because it's CMON, and partially because it's amazing miniatures, and partially because it's based off an existing property, Massive Darkness 1, that had a huge following, a huge audience, a ton of people who wanted to love it. And many did, and many liked it, and many enjoyed it to different degrees, because Massive Darkness, while a great game, was not without its flaws, was not without its critiques in terms of different aspects. The campaign was not as fleshed out as people would have liked. It was honestly imbalanced. The campaign was just completely imbalanced. The actual upgrading and levels, the characters, too often in Massive Darkness, it felt like it was just a bunch of number crunching. Oh, 14 different modifiers that add one die, remove another die. It didn't feel like the abilities were clever. It didn't feel like it was innovative enough at times, but despite it had a good engine, a good system, but a lot of small critiques that all combined to be a good game, but not an amazing game. Not one of CMON's smashed out hits, but nonetheless one with a pretty decent cult following. And that cult following is out in full force today with 7,782 backers as of now, much higher by the time you watch this tomorrow morning. And this thing is just going to be insane. It's going to be insane. So what is Massive Darkness? What is this campaign? And the usual, should you back it? And well, we'll get to that later. But what is this campaign? Massive Darkness is a dungeon crawler. It's a dungeon crawl from CMON, and it takes the typical dungeon crawl format of, you have a bunch of characters, you're upgrading stuff, you're dealing with mobs, trying to attack it. It is a cooperative experience, and in that game, it's it's going for the lighter side of this experience. Not light like bad, but there is a degree of lighterness to this compared to, let's say, Sword and Sorcery or something like that, or many other dungeon crawls that tend to be a little on the heavier side, like Gloomhaven, Sword and Sorcery. Massive Darkness is basically taking it a step up from Zombicide. So if you like Zombicide, if you like the core system of Zombicide and that fun, level up your characters, get loot, attack bad guys, but you want a bit more of a dungeon crawl experience, less than a survival game, then Massive Darkness might be a game for you. In terms of differences from this and the first campaign, there are a lot. I'm not going to try to do an in-depth video because I will tell you right now, I will 100% be doing another Massive Darkness video before the campaign ends. And that's partially because, it's just doing phenomenally well and it's blowing up. And partially because I tend to be a pretty big Command fanboy, and I'm always happy to do a second video on their campaigns, especially when their campaigns are, well, this big and this many add-ons and this many stuff going on in it. And also the add-ons are a big deal because we'll have to cover those add-ons, and they're not here yet. They will be coming later, but we'll cover those when they come out. So, Massive Darkness, again, this is a giant epic campaign-based experience, you haven't covered campaign-based. Giant epic experience in which you level up your characters, and the main difference, the only real difference I want to focus on in terms of Massive Darkness 1 versus Massive Darkness 2 is the characters. Rather than having a bunch of characters that feel less unique and more just like minor pivots or minor shifts on the same general format, rather the characters are fully unique. They each have, let me see if I could find it here, they each have, where is it? Over here, somewhere. I don't know where it is, guys. It's somewhere here. Guys and gals. Here we go. So basically, So, Massive Darkness, what they are doing is they are turning each character, each class, into its own special minigame with different aspects. One of them is push your luck. One of them is a rondelle based. One of them is, they have different auras they can give. And each character, like the Berserker over here, they have a special dashboard to convert damage. They all have their minigames. The Ranger, I believe, is a push your luck mechanic in terms of drawing cards and seeing how much you can actually do before you possibly miss entirely. The Rogue, I believe, is bag building / deck building. And they all have, the Wizard has the rondelle that I mentioned already. Each character has their own little mini game and how they play out. So it's basically fun. It's asymmetric, but not asymmetric to a level of depth that might intimidate you, such as Root or, I don't know, I can't think of any asymmetric games offhand, but Root is a game that has a lot of asymmetry, but it can be intimidating in terms of teaching the game. Rather, Massive Darkness has a standard set game, but each character brings its own little miniature game to the table that changes how it plays, that gives it its own unique feel, and they are slowly unlocking new characters, new classes, which we'll come down to shortly. That is the main difference I want to focus on in terms of Massive Darkness 1 versus 2. Additionally, I'll also say, rather than having a tacked-on campaign mode that doesn't really work well for the players, they are the two pledge levels we have here is we have a $100 Hellscape pledge and the $145 Heavenfall pledge. This is the one I will be giving away if BoardGameCo hits 10k subscribers before the end of this campaign. If it's a day after, no giveaway. If it's a day before, giveaway. So, in terms of that, the Heavenfall campaign comes with a campaign mode expansion that will basically be giving you a fully built-in campaign. Meaning nowadays we are so overwhelmed with campaign games that this might not be for you. You might not feel the need for this. Honestly, as much as I love campaign experiences, I also like the lower pressure of a single shot experience, that I can pull out Zombicide, I can pull out Cthulhu Death May Die, and just play a game without having to worry about where I left off and the pressure of having to get 5 games to the table in the next week and a half, or maybe I shouldn't even bother playing it. So whether the campaign is for you, you have to know for yourself. We're not talking about a Gloomhaven level experience of 100 plus games or whatever. We are talking about a smaller level of interlinked games. But nonetheless, if you like the idea of leveling up your character across, 5-10 hours of gameplay, as opposed to over an hour or two of gameplay, Massive Darkness will offer you both experiences, assuming you get the Heavenfall pledge. Past that, this is CMON. We know what to expect here, but in case you're new to CMON games, in case you're new to Kickstarter in general, let's talk about what to expect in this campaign, because I think knowing what to expect will be very helpful. Knowing what's coming will help set your own expectations as to what this campaign will look like for you, for this game, and most importantly, for your wallet. In terms of, before I get into what to expect, I do want to note CMON is to a certain extent changing up their formula. So when I say what to expect, I'm saying it based off of prior campaigns, based off of being part of multiple CMON campaigns, with the understanding and knowledge that because they're changing their formula, anything goes. All these judgment calls might be completely wrong. As far as how they're changing their formula, to begin with, this game is starting off with daily unlocks. Yes, they still have stretch goals. Already we've unlocked 4 or 5 stretch goals, and by the time you watch this, there'll be another 4 or 5 or whatever. But there are also daily unlocks. So they are sitting there and giving you the main focused bulk content that they want to make sure is there, and they're giving it to you in daily unlocks across 21 days. We'll see how much content actually comes out, but we'll see how that plays out. But they are also giving you stretch goals as well, so that's one change. Additionally, like I already mentioned with Quackalope, they released a gameplay video before the campaign even began. This morning or yesterday morning or something, Quackalope dropped the exclusive gameplay video for Command on Tabletop Simulator. It is long, but it is fun to watch. It gives you a feel for what it will be like to go through that dungeon together, to defeat mini-bosses and mobs and whatever together. It is a good experience. I recommend watching it. But Command's releasing a gameplay video, which is something that in the past several campaigns, people have often had to beg for and possibly not get. Additionally, they added time to their timeline. If you see here, this game is set to deliver in September 2021, which is basically, 15, 16 months away, something. And so Command, for a while, they started with a year-long gap from the campaign to when you expect it. They started adding a month or two, but they're also padding it by a few months, and we'll touch on why that's relevant when I tell you what to expect from a Command campaign. And past that, they also released the rulebook day 1, and this is the one that is absolutely killer. They released Tabletop Simulator Access Day 1. If you are somebody who wants to try this game, they're saying, we believe in it. Not only are we giving you gameplay, but we're giving you Tabletop Simulator. This means Command, to a certain extent, might be adjusting how they interact with us backers, how they run a campaign. I mean, over the years, people like myself have loved Command for the sheer amount of value they deliver, but many others have critiqued them for different aspects of handling of campaigns that they are already kind of doing pretty decently off the bat. I don't know how the rest is going to go, but they do seem to be listening to feedback or possibly just improving just because. But all in all, these are good changes across the board. So with that said, what do I mean when I tell you I'm going to tell you what to expect? So to begin with, even though they padded this timeline by a few extra months, mentally add 6 months to this timeline. If you are backing this game, don't expect to get it in September. Expect to maybe get it in January of 2022, somewhere like that. It may not happen. They may get it to you earlier. They certainly have in the past. But keep in mind that Command sometimes does run on delays, and rather than setting expectations that you will be playing this game September 2021, set your expectations accordingly. Pad that number by a few months, just in case. Let's see how it plays out. But set your expectations accordingly. Secondly, expect a lot of add-ons in this campaign. The pledge right now is either $100 or $145 plus shipping, but expect more add-ons in this campaign. Expect there to be a decent amount. I'm predicting that by the final pledge, we're looking at $145 for the Heavenfall pledge. Expect $300 to $350 in terms of once you factor in all the add-ons and the possible add-on pledge, because they do generally drop an all-in pledge these days. So if you are someone who's happy with the base pledge, if you are happy with the Heavenfall pledge, great. But if you want everything or else you'll experience FOMO, understand FOMO, fear of missing out. Understand that you are probably looking at $300 minimum, possibly $350 or even more. The original Massive Darkness campaign came in at $400 for everything. That's a lot of money. Now, Command hasn't done anything that high in a while. They have kind of eased back that level of just how much content they are selling you. But nonetheless, games like, Ankh, games like Cthulhu Death May Die, like Marvel United, they all have price tags in the range of $250 to $350 to get everything. And I don't think Massive Darkness 2 will be on the low end of that. I think it will be on the high end of that, so $350, possibly even jumping to $400 or maybe even more. There's no guarantee, but understand day one that there are going to be a bunch of add-ons that offer you more fun miniature stuff that are a ton of fun to get. Additionally, expect an add-on every 4 or 5 days. The first one may be a bit more of a gap. The first one might be a gap of, let's say, 6 or 7 days, but after that, throughout the campaign, expect an add-on every 4 or 5 days. That is typically in Command's wheelhouse. Instead of clamoring for an add-on day 2, day 3, and losing your mind over whatever happens, understand that they have a flow, they have a system. There will be an add-on maybe 5 or 6 days from the beginning of the campaign, and then another one every 4 or 5 days after that. That is typically what Command does. Additionally, this is less guaranteed. Nothing I'm saying is guaranteed. They're all just based off past trends. Additionally, expect an all-in pledge in the last 3 or 4 days of the campaign. Expect that's when an all-in pledge is likely to drop if they offer one. They don't always offer one, the most recent campaigns they have, so expect that all-in pledge. And finally, and this is a big one as well, expect the possibility, not a guarantee, expect the possibility that Massive Darkness 2 base game might be available first at retail. It may or may not. I know with Marvel United it was, but that's also a very different arrangement because of the arrangement they have with Spin Master, and they're trying to bridge that gamer and gateway audience. Massive Darkness 2, there's no guarantee. But if you're expecting this campaign, knowing that I don't care about the extras, I just want it first, this may not be your best opportunity to get it first. This may in fact give you a ton of extra stuff, but not by giving it to you first. I'm not saying it will or won't, I'm just putting that out there that CMON does have a track record of, with Cthulhu Death May Die, with Marvel United, of sometimes getting the base game to the shops, to the retail, before it goes to you as a backer. Now for myself, I don't care about that, and we'll cover why in a minute. In terms of reasons not to back, because I do want to cover reasons not to back this campaign, because as many know, I am a huge CMON fanboy. I like their stuff a lot. And so, when put to the test, when challenged, I'm in a Discord with a lot of, you don't have to be a Patreon or anything, we have a Discord, I'll link to this Discord down below, the BoardGameCo Discord, feel free to join. We're actually nested within Quackalope, so be nice to them there. But within that Discord, I was basically challenged about the fact that I will just basically jump into this video and be, back this game, all in, come on, enjoy, whatever. And I was like, you know what, screw that. I'm going to be negative. I'm going to tell you all the reasons you shouldn't back this campaign. And so those reasons are relevant, which is, number one, we already covered. Add 6 months to the timeline. If you think you're going to get this game right away, add up to 6 months. Understand there's going to be delays, and that might be a reason why you shouldn't back this campaign. Number two, again, we talked about FOMO is a thing. If you can't deal with the fact that $100 or $145 is not getting you everything, and you don't want to look at a $350 or more price tag on this campaign, walk away now. This might not be the campaign for you. You can get a lot of content at those smaller pledge levels, but this might not be the campaign for you. Reason number three, if you didn't like Massive Darkness, not if you liked Massive Darkness but had reservations, but if you played Massive Darkness and you had no interest, if you've played Zombicide and you have no interest, this might not be the game for you. While it is the game for me, or it looks like the game for me, it is on the lighter side of dungeon crawls. This is not some heavy, intense, super strategic dungeon crawl. This is light and fun, has epic moments, has strategy, has a lot of different fun things going for it, but if you don't like that lighter kind of Cthulhu Death May Die experience, this might not be the campaign that you should be backing. Reason number four, if you have generally found that CMON Kickstarter extras are unbalanced, that they mess up the gameplay experience, and why would you ever play one of the base characters when you can instead play this character who's super powerful, then this might not be the campaign for you, because the main reason to back it are the extras. The main reason to back it are all those freebies, not freebies, we're paying for them, but the extra content you will get in a Kickstarter. For myself, I haven't found that balancing to be an issue, or more specifically in Zombicide, well, like I'll note Zombicide does have overpowered characters, you can balance that by just making sure that the overpowered abominations are in the deck too. So that game balances itself to an extent. Well, you have to balance it for it, it doesn't balance itself. But the point is that CMON extras have never bothered me. They've never given me a weaker gameplay experience. But if you are someone who gets them and just puts them on the shelf, well, are they really doing much for you? And finally, reason number five, if you generally like, and this I covered a bit, but if you generally like deeper games, if you're someone who doesn't like this kind of experience to begin with, if you like heavy strategy and optimization of your sheep for your wool and turning them into I don't know, barrels of water, I don't know, whatever kind of Euro experience you want, then why are you here? This isn't that kind of game. This is not a Euro. This is a fun dungeon romping experience. All that said, why should you back this? Why should you jump in? So the first one is really why I do these videos in general. Should you back this? Yes, you should back this. The value is going to be crazy, out of this world. Well, I should rein this in. Sorry. It's day one, and CMON might change stuff. But in general, their Kickstarters, in general, past tense, and we'll cover this in another video, so if I am wrong, I'll have time to update this, but in general, their campaigns deliver a ton of content for what you're getting. To begin with, we have the basic retail experience over here. You have the basic, here's the game, here's 6 heroes, all these fun miniatures, they look great, here's the 56 mobs. CMON games give a great value, but so far you're just seeing what's in the retail edition, and why would you pay $100 to get this when you can get it in retail for cheaper later? Look at these miniatures, they're gorgeous, look at this ghoul, I love it. The bosses, the Archangel Michael, the Reaper, all these extras that you have for each character class that's unique and fun and special and magical. All this stuff, we got a ton of stuff over here, and the stretch goals are already starting. So where do we have the stretch goals? Let's find. Here's a nice little image of the size of the miniatures, which you should take into account. But let's scroll down further to find the stretch goals, which they're here somewhere. Over here, we already got, and again, it's day 1. We're going to have more. We're probably not going to average 4 a day. That would be like 80 plus stretch goals, and we're not going to have that, just to set expectations. But expect a bunch more before this campaign ends. In terms of what we have so far, we have a roaming monster, we have 6 Naga minions, a Naga leader, we have the Berserker, which is a hero figure and a card. Oh, I missed this one, I didn't even see this one, so apparently we crossed this before. Additionally, we have in the updates, we have the day 1 reveal, and there's going to be a bunch of stuff. Pay attention to the Kickstarter exclusive tag, by the way. Kickstarter exclusive, Kickstarter exclusive, Kickstarter exclusive. These are all in the Kickstarter edition only, and in a second, if this update decides to load, we'll talk about the fact, you know what, oh, it's loading right now, great, extra. Great, not extra. Great. So, this update, it's taking a while, so let's hold off for a second. Here we go. So, the day 1 upgrade is the fact that we get a new class, a Necromancer class. This is like, I don't know if it's Kickstarter exclusive, actually. I don't know. I don't recall seeing that in terms of this. So this may not be Kickstarter exclusive, keep that in mind. But we have a Necromancer class components. It's a new class that involves raising the dead. You can basically raise enemy minions, use them as heroes that have the maximum amount of threat, and that's fun, that's cool. It doesn't say Kickstarter exclusive, I should note that doesn't say that. But anyways, it is definitely cool. There's a lot of content. So going back to my reasons here, in general, assuming this campaign is not different than the others, CMON delivers one of the best values for your dollar. $100 will buy you the base game, which will be 70, 65 bucks or whatever in retail anyway, but it'll give you a ton more extras. It'll give you 50, 60, 80 more miniatures, different opportunities, different ways to play. And if you like that extra bling in your experience, if you anticipate playing this enough that you'll need this, CMON delivers an excellent value. Reason number 2, the mini games for each class. And we touched upon this already, but I love the idea of giving just enough asymmetry that playing one class versus the next really does feel different. And not just from a stance of stats, not just from a stance of, well, this guy's going to cast more spells, this guy's going to have more melee weapons, but rather from a stance of, I have to figure out, am I deck building today? Am I pushing my luck? Am I doing a rondel? What gameplay difference, mechanically different experience am I going to have today as I play Massive Darkness 2? And that really does it for me. Reason number 3 why you should back it, CMON is offering a tabletop simulator experience. Even if you are someone who's not going to take advantage of that, understand that they're offering it, which is a testament in and of itself. This is not some shoddy experience that they're hoping you'll throw money at because of miniatures and just hoping for the best. They've put this out for the world to critique, and they've put it out on a platform that historically is less fun than playing it in person. And they believe enough in their product that they are giving it to the world and saying, enjoy, jump on in, we expect to see you back here with your $350 backing our game because you love it. That is definitely a reason to back it. Reason number 4, if you like Massive Darkness 1, if you like Zombicide, if you have enjoyed these lighter experiences, Cthulhu Death May Die, and you want more, this is more. And that is why I'm here, because I like Zombicide, I like Cthulhu Death May Die, and I like Massive Darkness 1. That pretty much tells you off the bat that Massive Darkness 2 is perfect for me. Reason number 5, and this is completely not my thing, but in general, if you like great miniatures at a great price point, this is going to be that for you. Even if you don't like the game, but if you repurpose miniatures for, I don't know, Dungeons and Dragons or whatever other game experience that you want, this will give you a lot of fun, cool miniatures, assuming you like the art style. I know some people weren't a huge fan of the art style, but assuming you like them, this will give you a lot of bang for your buck. And that is basically why I am almost certainly backing Massive Darkness 2 Hellscape. I will be back with another video as the campaign progresses. I'll probably wait for the last week of the campaign, so I might miss that last add-on or the all-in pledge, but I will aim for another video to cover this game. As usual, I'll also be covering it briefly in my roundups every single Monday in terms of whatever update goes on. I am excited for Massive Darkness 2. And I have one more favor to ask, okay, and this is a big favor, but Quackalope, they posted in their gameplay update that they want a Quackalope, that they want a miniature that is a duck and an antelope, or a Quackalope, and they want that to be a monster in this game. And I want that too. I would like to have a Quackalope boss or something in my game that we can fight together. A giant duck with antler horns or some sort of whatever. I'm sure CMON can do this. So do me a favor. Head on over to the campaign page, jump into the comments, and just post that you want a Quackalope. that you will not be satisfied until there's a Quackalope as a stretch goal, that this is something you want to have on your table. I mean, you've seen some of the miniatures that they've done in their Zombicide and Black Plague and Green Horde. They had that rainbow colored one that was completely ridiculous. They can do a Quackalope. They can make it happen, and I want to see it happen. Come on, if you're watching this video, just do it for me. Do it for the people. There's going to be comments in your video now because it's now a thing that needs to happen. So head on over to the Kickstarter, head on over to the comments, go ahead and tell Command that you want to see a Quackalope in your game. And then, as I said in the beginning of this video, I would really appreciate it in terms of that giveaway. Subscribe to BoardGameCo, head on over to Quackalope and subscribe to their channel just to throw off his numbers completely, because that way I can take credit for everything. Even though he's the only one with a Command exclusive video, I'll take credit now because I sent a whole bunch of people his way. It's all me now. That's basically it. I am Alex Radcliffe from BoardGameCo. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new here, it's been an interesting ride. It's been an interesting experience. I like to have fun, and that sometimes does mean that people who know me or have watched my videos before know a little more about what's going on. Sometimes it's a little funnier because my weird competition with Quackalope is a great example where people know that I'm friends with them and I work with them on different things, and that does mean that I'm going to try to mess with them, and hopefully you're down for that experience because it would be fun. Anyways, until next time, you should back Massive Darkness 2 if this is something that interests you. At the same time, understand that the reasons I gave that are negatives are genuine negatives. If those are going to bother you, take those into account. I do believe this is a great buy. I believe Command typically delivers a great buy, a great experience to their backers, and it will be fun. It'll be a fun journey for those involved. You know, head on, pledge at $1, stay along for the updates, see which additional classes are unlocked, what additional heroes within those classes, are they different, how are they going to handle that, what gameplay experiences, what add-ons. This is going to be a fun experience. I'm almost predicting a trader mechanism. I feel like in Massive Darkness, a trader mechanism could potentially work, although they did just do that with Marvel United, so perhaps not, I don't really know. In any case, as usual, I'm Alex Radcliffe from BoardGameCo. Subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, comment down below, and then make sure to head on over to the Kickstarter page and comment that you want a Quackalope in your game. Until next time, have a good one.